Howdy. I noticed something, and that thing that I noticed was that I'm spending way too much money on coffee and eating out, which I think is a major problem for a ton of people, not just myself. And what triggered this, just to give a little bit of context, I got paid today, right? And I have a budget spreadsheet that I use, and I was kind of budgeting everything that I was going to be spending on for the month. And I was like, oh, like, let me just check last paycheck, you know, how much money went towards coffee and food. And it was not an amount I'm happy with, right? And I'm going to share that amount with you once I get to my laptop. But I want you, if you're also having this issue, to come along for a ride. I work remote, so I do tend to go to a lot of coffee shops all the time, you know, to work from there, and I just naturally buy coffee because it's easy and it's accessible, but it's probably not the best place for my money to be going. So what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna be showing you my expenses, which is kind of scary. Please don't judge me. I know that it's a problem. I need to fix it like ASAP. But I'm also gonna make a commitment to myself that for the next 2 weeks, I'm not gonna spend any money on coffee. I'm going to put into my budget a small amount to go towards buying coffee beans because I have things to make coffee here, so that I don't feel compelled to go out and buy coffee. And then I'm also going to give myself, I actually said in the video that I was going to be not eating out more than 2 times for the next 2 weeks. I think that doesn't really make that much sense because then I could just spend however much I want, which would go against the purpose of like saving money if I were to be eating out. So I'm actually gonna just limit myself to $40 in the next 2 weeks dedicated towards food, eating out. $40 is what I am sticking to. This is gonna be, it's gonna be a lot. So let's do this. Let's just go ahead. We are now ready to dive in. I will kind of go over the steps that I took to gather the numbers, and then I'll actually show you more detail as to what I spent. So I went over to my bank's website. Depending on what you are using to charge your transactions on, whether it's your credit card or your checking, follow kind of the same steps but for that specific card that you use. So I went into my bank account. I then looked up the card that I usually use, which honestly it's like 50-50 between my debit and credit, so not a lot of information there. You can search by dates. So I put the date of my last paycheck till today. Grabbed all those transactions. It doesn't split it up by like, this is shopping and this is groceries. So what I have to do is like manually go into Excel and just pull all that data. So it's only giving me coffee purchases, drink purchases, and eating out purchases. So going to aggregate all of those transactions from both my debit and my credit card, and then I'll be back with that data, which I'm kind of scared to see. So once I'm back with that, you can go ahead and do the same thing. So we're kind of, you know, aligned on what we're spending. Let me dive into kind of aggregating all of that data and getting it up on the screen for you. I think I'm ready. I gathered 2 different categories, and those 2 categories are drinks, which include coffee and alcohol, and food, which just literally includes any sort of eating out, whether it's fast food or sit down restaurant or ordering on Postmates or DoorDash. So that's all gonna go into the food category. What I'm also gonna do is that I'm going to just rename some of these locations. And some of them I'll leave as is, but I'm just gonna do that really quick. And I'm also leaving intact things like dates and the actual like amount that I spent at that specific place. So let's go ahead and just look at this really quick. So if you can see on the left hand side, I have my drinks, and that includes, again, coffee and alcohol. Starting on the 15th, you saw that I did a coffee run, wherever that was. And then just from there, it's like a lot of different coffee and either sit-down coffee. So anything that says coffee on it, it's places that I like went and worked out for a bit. because I work remote. So that's that. And then everything else is pretty much drive through. Like I got, you know, I wanted coffee throughout the day when I was working, and I just went to grab coffee instead of making it at home. And that's totally my fault. I could have bought more coffee beans. Definitely my own fault. Like that's just literally me being lazy. So that's where that comes from, which is terrible. And as you can see on the C column, I just have all the different amounts that I spent. Do keep in mind that some of these amounts are a little bit larger, not because I drank like 3 cups of coffee in one sitting, but I would buy coffee for my partner as an example, or if I was going to coffee with somebody that I had a coffee chat thing with, bought them coffee. So that's kind of like where that column comes from. Let's go ahead and just do like a quick sum here, and then we can just do a quick. So that's $126. That is a lot of money. That's a lot. That's all good. Okay, so let's move on from that, and let's go over to the food section, because the coffee section has me a little stressed out right now. It's a lot of money to spend on liquid. And I mean, one of them was for a bar, but that's, I mean, it was majority, like literally the majority is coffee. Food is another one that, to give more context, for the most part, my partner and I do cook from home. So we'll do groceries on Sundays, and we'll try to buy enough food for at least a week and a half, and we plan out the meals. There are some days where, for example, we will like go work out after work and come home and we're just really tired and like nobody wants to cook. On those days, we do end up usually ordering out. Or, right, if we don't have leftovers from dinner, I end up with like a harder time figuring out what I want to do for lunch. And again, I work from home, so like, and you would think that working from home, you would like make your own food because it's easier, but not usually. At least for me, I need to get better at that. So I could definitely do a lot better with my eating habits. For lunch specifically, a lot of these were lunch like related purchases, where I just needed to get something for lunch. On this side, we have a lot of restaurant sit downs. That's either my partner and I went and got food, or I just like picked something up from somewhere. And then everything else is pretty much fast food. And then the H column, if we just take a little gander at that, that's where I have again all of the different purchase amounts. And just to reiterate, a lot of these are for 2 people, not just myself. So keep that in mind. Let's do the same thing here. So let's do a quick sum. We get a total of $224.18. Now we have the totals here for both coffee, alcohol, and food stuff. And if we actually, I mean, let's take it a step further. Let's just go ahead and add these two. So it's actually $3.50, right? That's, oh my God, not 2. I wish it was nothing. I wish it was 0. So this is our final total. And it's pretty not great. So it's $350 that could be going to literally anything else, like a savings, right? But it's currently going to coffee, alcohol, and food. Those 3 things, which honestly, like, now I'm just mad. Now I'm mad at myself for letting this happen. And it really makes me never want to buy like anything outside. Like, So, as you can see, this is pretty bad. I'm sure there's people that, you know, like it's worse. Maybe it's 500 for them. They like literally have everything out and not in their home. But I know there's people that do this so much better than I do, that probably have like, I don't know, $20 of eating out transactions in total, right, for like the whole month or something. Maybe that's a little much. $350 is a lot of money to be putting towards food, alcohol, and coffee in a 2-week span. So please keep in mind that this is, even to me, like, just make it worse. This is literally in a 2-week span. 2 weeks, 14 days. Again, yeah, I don't even want to average the amount of money that I was spending on a daily basis. So it's a lot of money, but yeah, I mean, there's so many alternate things that this could be going to. So this is the challenge. The challenge that I'm gonna be putting on myself is that starting today, August 30th, until from August 30th through September 15th, so a little bit over 2 weeks, which is fine. The goal here really is to allow me to see at the end of the day, like, I don't need to be spending this much money on coffee, alcohol, and eating out. So it's really a way for me to just actually experience it, so that I can compare. I think literally seeing this number 350 versus whatever my number is from after September 15th, I think it's going to be really eye-opening for me, and I think I need that. I need that kind of like reality shock. If you're doing this as well, I really recommend you do the same thing that I did here. Look at your budget, see where your money is going when it comes to coffee, food, and alcohol. If you even like do any of those out, it wouldn't apply to you if you didn't. So just disregard. Okay, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you do, to keep in tune with what's happening and what my result is after these next 2 weeks. And I'll see you on the next video. This is real life. This is real money. This is my hard-earned money here. And I am obviously not doing what I should be doing with it. So yeah. See you in the next one.